Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Oosh Brothers podcast. It is your boy, BB Malloy, and joined with me as always, Louis. How's things, man?
Oh, good, dude. Good. We're good. Tired. Not looking forward to going back to work tomorrow.
No, neither.
But, no, good. Good. I finished Assassin's Creed Odyssey just before. Platinumed it. I only had a few things to do to get the platinum. So that's all finished. And now it's on to probably Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I want to give that a proper go. Maybe play. Yeah, it's just gaming at the moment. Gaming and chores.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, how about yourself?
Yeah, not bad. Played futsal tonight. We won. I scored 3, but I still played like crap. So getting back into the swing of things, and then pre-season starts next month. So you boys get to start getting this fitness back up. Obviously, you and I bit of a mission over the weekend. Bit of a cruise up to the Coromandel.
Yep.
And enjoyed a bit of a birthday party shindiggery for a family member, and there was parts of that were really cool. There was parts that were really weird. Obviously, the spending time with family is always amazing. Getting to see them once every so often is just great. But the Peter Warren situation was a little bit different. That was some different gravy, bro.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think I'll ever forget what he said.
for context, Peter Warren is a New Zealand musician who was one of the founding members of Dee Dee Smash with Dave Dobbin, another New Zealand treasure of a man. Wrote Slice of Heaven, has been in a number of very influential bands and written some incredible songs that are considered like New Zealand anthems, basically. This dude, who was his drummer for a time, is his band member for a time, as he will not let you forget, was the drummer in the covers band that was at this party that we were having out in the middle of nowhere, out the back of Paeroa. And so, as it was our auntie, I decided to jump up and play maybe about 30 minutes, try out some new material. It was a very unserious gig, very impromptu thing for me. To which Peter Warren loved it and sang my praises and was, very genuine, very, very cool dude to chat to afterwards. But then he proceeded to get really wasted and kept trying to tell me that I needed to get out of New Zealand and try and market myself elsewhere and stuff, which is, not bad advice. But I let slip and told him that I was a dad and a father, a father of 3, and I was married and blah, 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 blah. And do you want to tell them what he said, or do you want me to just say it?
I'll say it. Effectively, he asked me if I had kids, and I said no. Then he said, well, at least you found a girl that'll let you come on her face. Which was a comment that took me aback. Both me and my missus, we were both kind of shocked at the statement. And then he immediately followed it up with, I don't care about this PC world, it's a mess anyways. And it's like, you can tell he's a relic from the past when he's like unapologetically saying like borderline offensive shit. So
yeah.
I didn't really know the fella to begin with, so I kind of don't like him. I'll be honest. I don't really care if he was a drummer for Dave Dobbin.
Fair
enough. I've let it simmer, but I just think it was incredibly disrespectful for someone of that stature, apparently, to kind of come out and say that and then blame it on the world we live in and not his own, and not take any accountability for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, just not, just not the kind of thing I wanted to hear, especially at a family member's birthday.
Yeah, it was a bit much, all things considered. And like you say, he's regardless of his stature, regardless of whether it's a PC world or not, there are better things that you could be saying instead of that sort of like just absolute horse shit that he came out with.
Yeah.
And he was pretty wasted. Apparently, he asked our mother if she was single as well.
Yeah.
It was a little bit unhinged. The man had spoke as if he were the personification of a whole packet of cigarettes. Just the worst. It was just, I mean, nice enough guy when you're talking about music, and he had some very kind words about my songwriting and my voice and all that kind of stuff, which is great. I really appreciated that. But yeah, having a conversation with him afterwards was just like, fucking hell, dude. Like, just a bit much. Just a bit fucking much.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right the fuck along from there. Back to work tomorrow. Not hugely stoked. I'm still absolutely counting down the days until we get to go to the UK and Europe. That's keeping me going at the moment. Just trying to, sort some stuff out there. Just a few experiences, bits and pieces, seeing what we can chuck together last minute, and just try and cram as much into this holiday as we possibly can, so we're just having a fantastic experience while we're over there. Outside of that, man, I'm just chilling. Like, it's good. I'm probably going to move the PlayStation from the office back inside where the internet is strong, and probably, make it a little bit easier on myself to have a bit of a gaming sesh more often than not instead of coming out here.
That's fair enough.
Outside of that, yeah. It's been real. Speaking of which, jumping straight into the major story of this week. Well, it's been going on for a little while now, and I know your previous thoughts on TikTok. I don't know if your position on it's changed at all, but
Not really.
Coming up on the 19th of January, the American faction of TikTok and its 170 million monthly users will see it leave the App Store altogether. So that's Google Play and the iOS Apple App Store, whatever it's called. So that's gonna see 170 million monthly users essentially not able to scroll, which is one thing, and then you've got a whole economy of creators that are essentially not getting a huge portion of their income for some of them. Couple of good things, I guess. It means there's more traffic for content creators that are already established outside of the US. So, the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand are gonna, see more traffic coming in because there's not a lot of American creators for the rest of the world to go and watch. For me personally, it's about 30% of my following. So it's kind of a little bit of a drawback. And I'll be completely honest, without my American following, I wouldn't have blown up the same way that I did. The American following was like, I went to bed and then they would start up on the videos, and this is when I was posting like 3 times a day, and they would just go ham, and I'd wake up in the morning to at one stage I was gaining 10,000 followers every single night. And I have them to thank for a lot of the cool experiences that TikTok's brought me over the last couple of years. Thankfully, because of that, I managed to grow quite a big following. So 70% of my audience is elsewhere in the world, which is great. And the other good thing to come from this too is without the American creators getting paid the TikTok Creator Fund, there's a high chance that New Zealand and Australia will start to get the TikTok Creator Fund, which is huge because it means we'll finally start getting paid for the content we've been making. So fingers crossed for that. But I don't know, man. What are your thoughts?
I'm torn. I'm torn because, I've always stated that I just don't. I've never really liked TikTok. I've uploaded to it and used it as a platform for content, but I just can't use the app because I just don't like it. I'm a seasoned Instagram Reel user. I just find that content kind of easy to digest, even though some of it's pretty out there. But I don't know. I guess from the start I never really liked TikTok, just kind of how it kind of, I don't know, just kind of took everyone's kind of, what's the word? Attention, attention span. I mean, Instagram and YouTube have been doing that for ages and ages, but I feel like TikTok kind of took it to a whole new level. So I'm glad it's leaving the US audience, but what I fear what will happen is all of those users will now come to Instagram, and then we'll just have just more cringe-worthy content come to Instagram and YouTube Shorts as well. So yeah, I mean, I did read an article. This was the other day that Mr. Fantastic from the show Shark Tank is leading a people's consortium to try and purchase TikTok before the ban happens. So it could actually not be banned if that goes through. I haven't seen any updates on that, but I did see that he tweeted out trying to purchase it. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I don't know. I've never really been a huge fan of it. Obviously, I've used it. And I've scrolled through it a few times, but I don't know, every time I scroll through it, it's just like, I just find content that I just dislike straight away. And then I'm like, I'm just going to go watch, I don't know, car crashes and people with Down syndrome, I don't know, waggle their tongues at females. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah, that video is pretty class.
yeah,
That dude's having a great time.
that's some classic brain rot right there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll just have to wait and see what happens. There could be, a late buyer, and then it eventually stays unbanned in the US, or, we see the end of TikTok in the US.
From a completely selfish perspective, I would say what would benefit me most personally is that if it were to get banned in America.
Yeah.
So if it were to get banned in America, that would benefit me hugely, because yes, you could use a VPN and keep scrolling. You could use a VPN and keep uploading, whatever it takes your fancy. But a lot of people aren't going to do that. A lot of people aren't going to spend money on a VPN. A lot of people aren't going to go out of their way. They are just going to migrate to Instagram and TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, which again is great for me, because the people that are currently following me who don't want to miss out on any of the content that I'm putting out will go over to Instagram, where I'm currently at 84,500, and then hopefully YouTube, more so than anything else, where I'm only at like 1,500. That's the kind of market that I'd like to bolster, if anything.
Yeah.
And then for someone like yourself, who's more of a casual user of TikTok, but more of an avid user of Instagram and YouTube Shorts, your algorithm has already been established on those platforms because of how often you use it. So if any of those users come over and start making the cringeworthy content or the bullshit content, all the algorithm's going to have to do is show you one or two of those videos that you instantly scroll past for you to then, for the algorithm to then go, okay, he doesn't like this kind of shit, so we're just going to keep that from, they want you to stay on their platform, right? That's the whole bit. So they're just going to only show you what you want to see. And thankfully, because you and I both are massive Instagram Reel people, they already have our data. They already have what they want, what we want ready to go. It's on tap. For me, it's football, it's music, it's a little bit of brain rot, it's crochet. I do love watching a bit of the old crochet videos. And I know that for my wife, it's a lot of cooking videos and a lot of cottage core and witch core and that kind of stuff to keep people invested in the app. So the TikTok dances and the skibbity toilet remixes and whatever the fuck else is eventually going to make its way over to Instagram Reels. It's probably already there, to be completely honest, but it's not going to be forced onto us because the algorithm's already established with us. So I'm kind of cautiously optimistic that it won't affect anyone in who's already invested in something like this when they how they consume their content. But on the flip side, it's also going to see creators like myself, mid-range creators, see a influx on other platforms. It's going to see an influx from other countries because there's not the American creators for these people to watch. And we're going to see a bunch of new audiences. Like a lot of people in Turkey use VPNs so they can have social media that's been banned, essentially all throughout the world. I know there's a lot of Indian people who use VPNs so they can get TikTok because TikTok is banned in India as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm kind of fingers crossed that I'm going to end up with a bigger audience than I've already got. And as an aside, a lot of... Actually, I hadn't even thought about that aspect of it. So, yes, as an aside, all of those American creators are going to essentially go defunct. And they won't be able to promote themselves. They probably won't be able to post a heck of a lot of content either. But the brand deals that creators like myself are going to get moving forward is huge. Like, this is the kind of change to happen for anyone outside of the US, where this could be a huge thing that sees people like me able to make a career out of TikTok, or able to make at least a supplementary part of their income from TikTok. So, yeah, like, yes, I lose 30% of my followers. I won't lose them as a number, but I'll definitely lose them as viewers. But yeah, every other aspect of this going through benefits me more than it affects me. So, at risk of sounding, horrible, I kind of hope it does get banned.
Yeah, that's fair. It gives me,
which is something I never thought I'd say.
It gives me a bit of a bit of a boost in, I guess, motivation, because if I can get the content out, around about the time that it gets banned, then there'll be more of a chance that it'll have, more exposure. So I was just looking at my YouTube studio, and not only am I still getting views somehow on my shit-ass videos, but I actually got a subscriber yesterday or the other day, and a comment, and
let's go.
Yeah, I know, and I'm still yet to respond to the comment, but like,
what does the comment say?
Oh, it was about the Masked Marauders video, and he said something. I think Ginger Baker was supposedly the drummer of that band, and I'll look into it and I'll get back to him. But yeah, I was just kind of I was like, oh shit, that's even the last in the last hour that C4 video got 1 view, and I'm quite shocked because, apparently they're good videos. My favorite one is still the Gangnam Style video. I still think that's the best one.
It's a great video. Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully in the next week, I'll be able to have something out, because I've now finished Assassin's Creed, so that's what I'm going to make the video on. It was okay. The ending was, it was alright. Yeah, I don't know. It was just my biggest thing is that it's in the Assassin's Creed franchise, but it's the farthest thing from an Assassin's Creed game. There's
right,
maybe, I think the closest thing it gets to is a cutscene where they show trailers of older Assassin's Creed games. That's the closest they get to being part of, the Creed of Assassins or whatever. So, and I also found it quite odd that because you have the icons on your PlayStation dashboard, and for the Assassin's Creed games it'll have that symbol depicting which game it is, but for Odyssey it didn't have the symbol. So, yeah, I don't know. It seemed real odd. But yeah, I don't know. So hopefully I'll be able to get that out soon. I've just got to make it, actually. That's usually the way it goes. But yeah, it gives me a bit of a kick in the pants, as it were, to try and get something out in the near future.
Yeah, man. It's the biggest thing, and this is something that, every time I hit a slump, the biggest thing that pulls me back in is the drive to keep going. But the thing that fucks it up for me every single time is that I'm not consistent. So it's one thing to like post it, but you have to, especially with short form content, it's almost like it's like a feeder bar thing. Like you have to just keep chucking shit in there, because once the tank runs dry, you can seriously fuck it up for yourself.
Yeah.
So I've, with the This Day in Pop Culture History thing, like I'm filmed up to February 1st, and so that's another, 2.5 weeks worth of content that I've got filmed. And in terms of stuff that's ready to post, I've got 5 days on the go, and I've got another 2 weeks as of next Sunday, another 2 weeks left to of stuff I need to edit, and then over the course of the next 2 weekends, I can film another 2 or 3 weeks worth of content, and just essentially keep chipping away at it. Because what I want to do is go all of 2025 posting once every day. That was a challenge set to me by a guy called Louis Davis, who is
great name.
He's just received his he's just received his 1 million subscriber button from YouTube, and he's a Kiwi guy. He lives up on the East Coast, I think, and all he does is post like vlog type videos of his life and his kids and his wife and fishing and all that kind of stuff. And he's just real wholesome type videos, and he's killing it in the YouTube game, absolutely nailing it. And I'm not like, there's obviously a market for it, and there's obviously some sort of appeal. I personally can't see it. And I love Louis, and we've met a bunch of times through different events and other bits and pieces, and he's a good dude. We reach out to each other through DMs and swap money making ideas and other bits and pieces. But I personally don't understand the draw of his content. But obviously there's a market for it, because there's hundreds of thousands of likes and millions of subscribers and millions of viewers. It's just, he's obviously hit a sweet spot and clearly has like a big backing.
What's his content?
It's pretty wild how many. It is that's essentially all it is. It's just vlogging. Like it's just him dancing with his daughters or going fishing or.
Is he the guy that
him and his wife are about to have their third baby?
That made the video of like he played a song in the lounge and then his daughter came and danced with him? Is that dude?
Yeah. That's Lewis. Yeah,
absolutely. I can see the appeal of that content, because it's it's wholesome stuff.
It's almost like hopecore, eh? Like it gives people something to like it's essentially like watching a cat video, cute cat video. You sort of go, oh, that's really sweet.
It reminds me of what was the name of that New Zealand Twitch streamer that like during COVID was carving and he blew up, and then Brox. It kind of reminds me of that, where it's just like a humble dude with his family that's just like I guess like showcasing how happy his life is and how how good he has it, and that he's probably worked hard for it. So I could definitely see the appeal and how it'd be
he's
popular.
very content.
Yeah.
Brox. Weirdly enough, Brox is another friend of mine as well. So we reach out to each other through TikTok. He got me to do connect to Todd from Bethesda Games about a year ago, and he always checks to see if I'm at Armageddon for some reason. Like he'll be at Armageddon and he'll DM me and be like, "Hey bro, you Armageddon this year?" It's like, no man, I think I did one, and
I'd go to Armageddon.
Like I was working. It wasn't like a. Yeah, well, I mean, like, if you want to meet him, I'm pretty sure he lives in the Wellington region somewhere.
True.
It's the same with there's a foodie creator, the English guy called Curls. He lives over in Welly, and he tries a bunch of New Zealand food and goes all over the place and does a bunch of like traditionally New Zealand experiences and stuff. And I found out that my wife is a pretty big fan of his, and I was like, when you come through town, you want to come over for coffee? And then I told the wife about it, and she was like, oh, like to the house. And I was like, yeah, or we could go out for coffee or whatever. And she was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, okay. And was like stoked to meet him, because he's seems like a real genuine dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's weird how many people you sort of catch up, like how many people you interact with once you reach like a certain echelon of followers. Like Teddy Swims follows me.
Oh,
Like
is that the singer?
the Lose Control guy. Like,
Oh,
hugely famous song that went worldwide viral. But yeah, he follows me, and
well, he's an
the
Aussie.
guy who made the what? Sorry,
I'm pretty sure he's an Aussie, isn't he?
no, he's American.
Oh, I thought he was Australian because he was. Never mind.
And you remember right at the start of TikTok when it first started taking off after it became like it swapped from Musically, was that chicken wing, hot dog and bologna, like that sound that came out and it was on like every single Brain Rot video.
No, I don't remember it anyway.
Okay, so there was like that and a bunch of other sounds that were created by a guy called Ricky Desktop, and he's been a follower of mine since I had like 700 followers.
Nice.
And he routinely DMs me. It's so weird, and only because I commented on one of his videos, and I said, "What did I say? Can you teach me your ways, and I will be your sidekick, BB Laptop or something?" Because he was like Ricky Desktop, and he obviously found that quite funny.
Yeah.
And he's just followed me ever since, and he messages me occasionally and just says what's up, and it's weird. TikTok's a weird place. Like, people are genuinely so friendly, especially as creators. Like, I haven't met a creator that's tried to like tear me down or anything. Even if they're doing similar sort of content, like there's a guy called Justin Doan who makes 6 Degrees of Separation content as well, because he's one of those like autograph hound guys who goes to like a bunch of different people, and like he goes out of his way to go and get photos with fit celebrities, and like he's a bit it's a bit much, you know.
Yeah.
Justin's a great guy, and we've been friends for a good couple of years now, but when he first started, every second comment under his videos was tagging me. Like, you stole this from at BB Malloy. This is BB Malloy's content. You're stealing BB Malloy's content, blah, 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 blah. And we kind of made a video together where we, like, quote unquote, squashed the beef. Well, there wasn't any beef because it was sort of just like, I don't have a license for this idea. You know, like, I asked someone who was already making this content if I could also make this content.
Yeah.
And he was okay with it.
It was a
Wesley Baker,
fabricated
who
beef.
doesn't make it anymore.
It was a fabricated beef.
Yeah,
it
was, but it wasn't even
all the time.
But we didn't even start.
Yeah,
it.
I know, but like it's every, like, most beefs aren't started between the creators. They are started by the respective followers of the creators. Yeah, like,
to be honest, we probably should have played it up and fucking got some engagement out of it.
but yeah, it's just followers defending their creator and then making baseless claims, and then it just like kind of slowly becomes this huge thing where like people turn on each other for no good reason, and then there's no like there's just no proof. The missus is an avid book talker. I'll say she reads a lot of books, like those, like the smutty books.
Yeah.
And she was watching a TikToker that was talking about the book she's currently reading, and she was complaining about it, like, to her phone, saying like, it's like you don't even read them, like, fully going in. And I was saying, why don't you just make a TikTok and reply, you know? And she was like, nah, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not really about confrontation. I was like, comment it then, at least, you know? Make it known.
I actually spoke to her about it on the return leg of the trip, and I was saying about how
She should get into speedrunning. Yes.
what did I say? Yes, absolutely. No, I mentioned something along the lines of basically never get into content creation, because it's the weirdest thing if you don't like being like singled out or like talked to in public, because I get recognized in weird places. And she was like, honestly, that would be my nightmare. Like, to if I was to get famous online, that would be my nightmare. And I was like, yeah, no, that's absolutely fair.
I might do that one day. I might find someone to pretend like she knows her. Just like, oh my god, I haven't seen you in ages.
Yeah, start
just
beef.
for a laugh.
Oh, you mean like recognize her in public?
Yeah, just for a laugh. Yeah, I think it'd be quite funny.
Yeah. Oh my god, I've seen your videos.
Yeah. She would not like that. I would find that hilarious, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, yeah.
Getting recognized in public. That's a 6.
The fuck?
The fuck?
Someone,
Oh, that guy's not going to be able to make TikToks anymore.
he'll come. He's got an Instagram. He's got an Instagram account.
Yeah, but all of the filters he uses are on TikTok.
Someone will make them for Instagram filters. I'm not worried about that.
Surely.
He'll just stick to Instagram.
Maple syrup on waffles.
Someone asking for my photo.
That's a 1.
The fuck?
I love that.
That's
Fuck.
a 5. No, he says Wong. He doesn't say.
Yeah, he says Wong.
Wong. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 has 2 syllables in it as well. That's a 4.
What did he say? He said, ranking places I'd go on dates. Picnic. That's kind of cute. That's a Wong. I don't think Picnic was number 1, but I can't remember it.
Yeah. The movies. You can't see anyone in there. It's dark. That's an 8.
A museum. That sounds boring as fuck.
That's boring as shit.
That's a 7.
That's a 7.
Because he's already. Because he like.
People wonder.
Because he'll rank like the. My favorite ones are when he's like already gagging as he starts. And he's got tears running down his face, and it's like, what the fuck? And then he's like, it's like a dog food donut or something. Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. That's an 8. Because I remember like at the very beginning,
barbecue sauce on watermelon.
When
what the fuck?
The missus showed me the missus showed me his content, and initially I didn't actually like it. I don't know why, but I think it was I think it was just because all he's doing is ranking things. Anyone can do that, like a real kind of like high horse kind of thing. But then I watched it again, and I was like, oh no, it's actually just really funny because it's like, it's just so kind of like he's putting his own spin on it, like
he's got a very unique voice as well, like in terms of that sort of Southern American, but like he's just a weird looking dude too.
Yeah,
like he's got his cockeyed.
Coming from a fellow lazy-eyed person, that's one thing that contributes well for me is the lazy eye, because I'm like I've been there, dude.
Yeah,
I am there.
Yeah, he's got one eye on his phone and one eye on the backlight. It's pretty wild.
It reminds me of the Biggie Smalls meme when the whole accusations about Diddy came out. It's like, you always have to have one eye on Diddy, just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
But yeah, and I was speaking of like kind of TikTok creators. I was watching Jack's films again because have you seen the Instagram reels or the TikToks of that guy that just watches reels and spits water when he laughs?
No.
Oh, so like he'll put himself in the top of the screen, and then there'll be a video, and then like if he laughs, he'll just spit out water, and that's all he does.
That's so shit.
But what he does, he's got 5.5 million subscribers. He makes 40-minute long videos, and he has nearly 8 billion video views. Well, over 8 billion video views, and that's all he does. All he does is like
he just spits water.
All he does is re-uploads people's clips, reacts to them, and tries not to spit out water, and then that's it. Doesn't offer any insight, doesn't like change it in any way, and it's like he's making money off that, and it's kind of shithouse.
That is the most low effort shit I've ever fucking heard.
Well, that's why I like watching Jack's films, because that's exactly what he's going after. Being one of the oldest creators on the platform in terms of, not him being old and like in his age, but like having one of the oldest channels and having collaborated with some of the biggest YouTubers of past and of present. He kind of knows what's up.
Oosh. Zoom running out when you're halfway through a sentence. That's a 10.
Zoom Pro Workplace for $40 a month. That's a 9. Yeah,
40
that's how I
bucks.
feel.
What the fuck?
Actually, that reminds me.
It's a
I
shithouse.
need to get. I think I need to resubscribe to Wondershare. And I also need some more
Oh,
RAM.
really?
Yeah, I need some more RAM because when the C4 video that I edited on that PC, was painful. Was incredibly
Yeah.
painful because it was like I would go to like trim a clip and then it would like kind of freeze and then it would expand, fit the whole screen, and then it would go back to normal after like 10 seconds, and it's like fuck. It's just not happening.
Yeah,
Um,
it happens to me occasionally too when I'm trying to do too much at once, but like it's
all
the
I'm
same
doing
sort of
is
shit with my laptop. Like I bought a laptop so I could be inside and edit, and then I tried to edit a reel and it was just fuck, it was atrocious. So I just download CapCut on the laptop for like short form.
yeah, I've got CapCut on my
It'll be
phone,
easier.
but I mean I haven't made a video in months, so I haven't used it. Um,
It's time. It's definitely time.
oh yeah, like now that I actually have like I've written the notes. I think it's at least like 7,000 words worth of notes, probably more than that. Um, and I've got the content captured, but now it's just moving it from the PS5 onto my PC. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a process. I want to get a capture card so I can just transfer it. But they're like $400, so no thanks.
Yeah, definitely struggle a little bit with the whole long form thing, especially with the lack of results that I get. And that shouldn't be why I don't dive so hard out into long form,
Yeah,
but it definitely contributes. Like the amount of time I put into that Henry Heimlich video, and it sat at like it has been sitting at 70 odd views for the last 3 months, and I did get another view today. So I changed the thumbnail and I've changed all the titles of my deep dives as well. So instead of it being Dr. Henry Heimlich's malaria hysteria, I've changed the title to The Man Who Tried to Cure AIDS with Malaria, because it's definitely a much more eye-catching
yeah,
title, because you look at it and go, what? And then, if you might recognize the name Heimlich if you look at it. Pablo Escobar's Cocaine Hippos, that's a great title. Instead of using like a brief history of, I've started doing like questions almost. So, where did hello come from? The origins of Beanie Babies. 1969, the most important year in pop culture history. That'll just stay as it is. And then, the cursed history of the Power Rangers. What is the 6 degrees of separation, and how I went viral online. Everything else I've privated. After your advice last week, I was just like, yeah, I can't.
yeah,
Surely this isn't how I need to, get. I should have privated those years ago, because there was some atrocious fucking videos on there, bro.
yeah. I'm just
What was the last
for me. I'm just like with the content that I want to make. All I want is like a steady audience. I'm not looking for virality. I'm just looking to slowly build it up over time because I know there's a lot of gamers out there,
Yeah.
um, like the one we met in at the base at JB Hi-Fi. That's a gamer. The guys that we met at EB Games, gamers.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
My kind of gamers.
Michael.
My kind of gamers. Just dudes that they'll finish work and they'll just be like, the PC is straight on. It's LOL time. It's Dota time. It's CS2 time. You know. Yeah. I was talking to a guy today that plays
It's.
that. I was because being a gamer, you know, can relate to a lot of people, and I was like, "What games are you playing at the moment?" Dude, he said, "Oh, Minecraft." I was like, "That's my guy." Nothing wrong with a good Minecraft, and it's being the start of the year as well. That's usually when most people go back into Minecraft.
And he's just grinding like crazy.
Yeah, Minecraft. I think he's playing Dark Souls as well at the moment. He was like, and he was like, "Have you played Bloodborne?" I was like, "Nah, man, not yet." And he told me to play it. I've got it, but I need to try it. But I'm terrified because they are unforgiving games.
In terms of like once you get sucked in, that's it.
Well, once it's that, and then it's also the gameplay and the combat. Like it's trial and error. It's one of my favorite creators, Yahtzee on Zero Punctuation. He says when he plays Dark Souls, it's like smashing your head constantly against a brick wall, hoping to break through, and that's pretty much what it is.
Oh wow.
That's all you're doing. But yeah, so gaming content is hopefully on the way. The disk drive is all up to date and installed, and it looks glorious. The USB port as well is looking good, but now we're just talking about stuff that we did, and not stuff that's happened around the world. But there's not really much that's happened around the world this week anyway. So
Pretty much, man. It's unfortunately, being that it's the start of the year, it's going to be a lot of yarns. Obviously, one of the huge things that's happening right now is the fires in LA.
That one,
it's like ripping through the country.
I just don't. As much as there'll be people that'll be suffering, like obviously, like the common person like you and me will be suffering. They'll have like their businesses burned down, their houses. I don't care about all the celebrities that are having their houses burned down.
No.
A, because they're rich enough to go and build new houses, and B, they're also rich enough to actually help contribute rather than spread awareness on like Instagram or whatever. Like Mel Gibson.
Oh, dude, like it's the same sort of shit when
it's thoughts and prayers
the
kind of shit,
Notre Dame. Yeah, it's virtue signaling. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like when the Notre Dame church burned down.
Yeah.
And all of the billionaires from around the world were like, oh, we definitely need to rebuild that. That's a piece of history. It's like, well, okay. Well, let's look at the LA fires. Okay, you've got tens of thousands of people that have lost houses and are misplaced and all that kind of stuff. Where's the big bounce back? Where's the celebrities banding together? Nah. Billy Crystal and his house that he lived in for 40 years burned down. All of his memories, all that stuff is crazy. Let's just Google what Billy Crystal's net worth is.
There was
okay.
There was two
tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
That are just that can't go home. I think I was telling you the Mel Gibson one where he was like, oh yeah, my place is. Oh no, it's not my place that's gone. It's his son's place.
Because he said on the Joe Rogan podcast that he put the ashes of his house into an urn. That annoyed me because it's like, he just like it. There's no like, you can't sympathize with that because obviously he's just got another property somewhere. And there was also one.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw recently Anthony Davis, who he's I can't remember what position he plays. I don't think he's a power forward, but I think he might be a center. I can't remember. He plays for the Lakers.
He's a basketballer anyway.
Yeah. So the Lakers photographer's house burnt down. He donated $20,000 to him. To his family, anyway. That's not going to buy him a house. That's not going to help rebuild the house. Gesture is.
Look, as much as
the gesture is nice, and I'm sure the guy appreciates the gesture, but it's like, $20,000 will not it'll help to fund the rebuild, but it's like they make millions of dollars a year. Surely they can put aside some of those savings, some of that money, to help rebuild the community. Like I think the KB dude, the Kababy dude, Khaby, the guy that did he'd put his hand.
Kabi.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's actually doing something. Like I think he's in Africa at the moment, like building houses, like actually putting his money where his mouth is and building houses after blowing up and becoming super famous, and being in the latest Bad Boys movie as well.
Because he's like.
And
he was Senegalese or something. He is Senegalese.
And he's actually
so he's over there doing that.
Helping to rebuild houses, like doing that whole thing. And then you get people like Anthony Davis that donates $20,000, or Jennifer Garner, for example, who was like, she was, to her credit, she was on the ground helping to provide something for aid. But it's like, yeah, you can do all that, and people are going to be like, yes, my queen, you're so helpful. It's like, but they're millionaires that can easily help the situation, you know. Kim Kardashian, she, for some reason, she's thought of as clever. She said, she was like, oh, firefighters need to be paid more. It's like, you're repeating what everyone else has been saying for years.
Yeah. It's all it is
Yeah.
virtue signaling. Like if you, and this is the issue I have with a lot of people on Instagram that are like quote unquote raising awareness for things like the war in Gaza or Russia versus Ukraine or whatever. Like people that it has nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
It has like their voice, as much as, you know, they would like to be heard, has no singular impact on anything happening elsewhere in the world. And that sounds very defeatist on my part. But if we are being completely realistic about this situation here, what the fuck are you expecting is going to happen? Like if you share like a Palestinian flag in your Instagram story, is Netanyahu going to see it? Is a Israeli soldier going to see it? Is someone of note going to give a squared fuck? You know, like, and I've had this conversation with a couple of people who love a good virtue signal, like especially, you know, Instagram girlies who love a good fucking virtue signal. And their argument is always the same. It's always like, oh, it's about spreading awareness. It's like, you have 60 fucking followers. Like, what do you think is going to happen from this? And then they retort with things like, you know, oh, you've got 80,000 followers. Why don't you share it? It's like, well, because A, I have no horse in this race. Essentially, what it looks like to me from the outside looking in is something that I don't have enough information about to make a judgment. I think all killing is wrong, regardless of what side it comes from. Genocide, whatever it is, it's all wrong. The whole bit. Like, people should be left to their own devices. I don't know who owns what land. I don't know who's entitled to what. I don't want to know. And unfortunately for me, that is my privilege kicking in because I don't need to know. And it's the same with the Russia-Ukraine situation. I don't know enough about it to make a judgment. I'm not going to change my profile picture to a Ukrainian flag. I don't know them. They don't know me. I'm not here to make a judgment or try and sway anybody. But again, it boils down to that cold hard fact of, is it going to make any difference whatsoever? Probably fucking not. You know, is Zelensky going to see my Instagram story? No. Is Putin going to see my Instagram story? Probably fucking not. You know, like, and I don't know. I'm just exhausted by the whole thing because there's a lot of stuff in this life that we cannot control.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that it has to unfortunately be left up to the fates. And whether you believe in that or not, whatever is going to happen to you is going to happen to you, right? If it should have, then it would have. And if outside of the realm of your belief, then sweet. Cool. But we all are born, we all live, and we all die. What we do in between those two pieces of bread on this ultimately shit sandwich is what guides our experience while we're here, right? I don't want to spend that sharing Instagram stories about wars that I have no control over. I can't jump in a plane and go fight for whatever side, nor would I know which side is the right side to be on.
Yeah.
Because I'm not invested enough, you know, so it's kind of hard. I just pulled up Billy Crystal's net worth, right? Between 50 and 60 million.
Yeah. He could easily help out hundreds of houses, thousands of houses even.
Yeah.
But
if I had a house in the valley in LA where it's all fucking on fire at the moment, bro, I barely have $50 to $60. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of us, like lower middle class types who have relatively okay paying jobs and, you know, house security and all that kind of shit, we are still paycheck to paycheck. You know, you're not paycheck to paycheck until you get into that like step above the bourgeois where it's like you have that nest egg of security or that cushion of security. We don't have that, and a lot of people in my situation don't fucking have that. So if the fires were to rip through New Zealand, I'd be fucking boned. Not only do I rent, I don't have insurance. I can't afford insurance.
Yeah.
My cars are pieces of shit. Content creation makes me nothing. I make nothing from this. Like occasionally I get a good brand deal or whatever, but essentially that just goes to backdated bills and shit. So like it's, I feel so bad for these people in LA. I feel bad for the people all over the world that are suffering at the moment, because it's one of those things where it's like there's nothing we can do to stop it. But
for me,
I'm not going to do the fucking thoughts and prayers thing.
What frustrates me the most is for a while when the Iran-Palestinian war was still trending, I'll say, there was protests in the middle of Wellington.
Not Iran-Palestine.
Sorry, Israel-Palestine. When that was trending, there was still protests. There was protests in Wellington, and they were like weekly things. I haven't seen one for the last couple months. I'll be honest. I'll see the Palestine flags, stick it onto lampposts. It's like, oh yeah, that's happening.
Yep.
But it's like the protests. They, I talked to someone about it, and they said, oh, effectively what we want is a domino effect. So we protest, and then another country, and then another country, and then another country, and then it'll like the dominoes fall. But you can, I don't understand why us as a smaller country, like how us as a smaller country can contribute to that. Like I remember the first Palestinian march there was like all through the streets of Wellington. And it was huge, massive showing. A protest that size, I can get that it could have maybe some effect. Maybe someone, I don't know, maybe some effect on the government to actually pull their finger out of their eyes instead of increasing everyone's rent and cost of living. But the less popular it got in the social media, the less people are going to protest. Like the last one I saw, there was like 20 people, and they were just sitting around holding the flag, not really doing anything. And it's like,
yeah, it's
really frustrating because it's like, it's, you can, I praise the fact that they're supporting a cause that they believe in, but it's like, actually do something rather than stand around holding a Palestinian flag. Like, donate to the Palestinian families, or even hell, even try and go over there and help out. If you're that passionate about it, actually contribute something towards it rather than standing around with a flag and claiming like, oh yeah, no, I'm helping out. We don't want this war to go on. We're not fans of genocide. No one's a fan of genocide. It's
no,
like, actually do something. I'm not here saying like people could say like, oh, well, you're not contributing. It's like, well, I'm not the one that's protesting and putting on this, this fault, like this facade that, this is my passion. This is what, I wish would happen. Obviously I would like the wars to stop. That'd be quite nice. It'd be quite peaceful. But I'm a paycheck to paycheck person that I can't contribute. I can't help out the people of Palestine, but I'm also not gonna pretend to help out by protesting and posting stories and all that sort of stuff. It's like, it's just shithouse. It really is. It's just people wanting to feel, I don't know, some sort of greater purpose that like maybe their lives just like there's nothing in their lives apart from sharing stories of of bombs being like bombs in Palestine or bombs in the Ukraine or whatever. It's
I feel like there's only a certain amount that you can get from this. Like when it comes to charity, right? If you are donating to a charity, whether or not it is Salvation Army or Cure Kids or whatever it might be, there is something inherently selfish about charity. And that is only because you are giving something that you perceive as valuable above all else, i.e. money, what we need to survive, to what you view as an entity that requires your donation in order to, move forwards. So what you get from that is a sense of satisfaction. You get a sense of the fact that you're helping, or at least you think you're helping. And in order to have started that in the first place, needs to have begun with a semi-selfish thought. Like whether you're passionate about a cause or not, what you're choosing to give essentially takes money out of your pocket in the way that you live in order to give, to someone else. If you are doing that anonymously and you like to keep that feeling to yourself, then you are in the right contingent of the kind of people that are, being charitable.
100%.
If you feel the need to post it on Instagram, to get a video of you giving a homeless person a meal, or whatever the fuck your type of charity is, you are in it for the wrong reason. If you need satisfaction of people commenting on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever, underneath your video being like, oh my God, you're so generous, I wish more people would be like you, you've clearly missed the fucking point. And this is the same sort of stance that shit like virtue signaling gets from not only myself, but a large contingent of people who are just fucking tired of it. And you're exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. As long as it's viral, people give a shit. As long as you're posting it and it's in the news and you are, up with the play and all that kind of shit, it's going to result in more views. The virtue signal is going to be up, and fucking Batman is going to be bringing his Batmobile right to where you fucking set the virtue signal from.
And
unfortunately, there's the only thing you are going to get from this is a false sense of, I would say pride, but it's more of a false sense of the fact that you're contributing in some way, because you're not.
Yeah. I personally don't understand it myself. And I'm very much like you. Like, I've done a bit of research into the wars. Obviously the Israel-Palestine war is it's a religious war that's been going on for it's been going on for actually quite a long time. It's only recently where it's kind of become a lot worse than it used to be. Same with the Russia-Ukraine war. That goes back to even around the Second World War, when there was some land that was disputed between the two countries. That's as far as my knowledge goes.
Yeah.
But it's so I don't know. I think it's just obviously people wanting to be a part of something and to feel like they're helping out. Oh, look at all this terrible things that's happening. I'm going to put it on my story. Oh, look, 50 people have seen it. That doesn't help. Yeah, it gets more eyes on it and more people see it, but the only people that see it are the ones in your social circle.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
I
don't know if you recall back in 2020, they had a bunch of celebrities do phone videos.
Yeah, Gal Gadot started that because she did
singing.
Yeah, Imagine by John Lennon, and it was
that's right.
And it was such a kick in the balls to just regular people suffering with COVID and losing their job, and it's thanks for the weird Instagram video of these people that just have no
millions of dollars, but they fucking world.
They have no sense of self-awareness. During that time, Josh Gad was crying because he was like, man, COVID's just so rough. People I know are afflicted with it. Oh, it's just so tough out there for everyone involved, including myself. It's bro, you were a fucking millionaire. You have more money than...
Why are you posting this?
You have more people than 99%... You have more money than 99% of the people in the world. You could easily help out with COVID relief like all that sort of stuff. Like, don't post yourself crying saying it's tough for everyone when it obviously is, but you're one of the few
Yeah.
people that can actually help change that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if I ever
Virtue
become,
signaling to me is
yeah, if I ever become rich and
sorry.
famous, well, not famous actually, I wouldn't want that. If I ever become rich, I would, um, I would, like, I would at least try to help people properly, like put food on their table, like a roof over their head or something like that, like especially in like disproportionate countries in the world, like when I donated to like CBM for like a full year, and I helped out a couple kids, like with my small donations, which was great. um
But you actually saw results from that too. Like,
yeah,
and you weren't posting about it on social media being like, "Oh, here's my adopted daughter. What was her name?"
Rebecca.
Rebecca,
No
that's
more
right. We've
club
spoken
feet
about
for
Rebecca on the
no more
podcast
club feet
before.
for you, Bex. I'm proud of you.
Shout out, Bex.
She can play
Back to
football.
playing football with your
She can play football
non-club
with her
feet.
mates now, which I was hugely proud of.
Hell yeah.
Um, and
Because of Papa Louie, that's why.
that's right. I had her picture somewhere, but I don't think I have it anymore. Um, but yeah, yeah, I
Adorable.
was actually like, as much like it wasn't. I didn't go out of my way to start contributing. I was in Auckland and I got stopped by this dude, and he was like, "Oh, it's $1 a day," and I was like, "Ah, fuck, yeah, right. I've got enough extra income for the time, so helped out." Um, and then I at the end, in the end, I had to kind of cancel it because it's like I just like it's something that I just can't afford, you know. Um, but yeah, I just don't understand. Like there's just so many different like aspects of like it's just crazy because it's like I could go on and on because it's like it's rich people doing the same thing that day to day people are doing, like virtue signaling, pretending to be a part of something bigger, but then it's like one side can actually fix that, whereas the other side can't. Like they just all they do is stand out there with a flag, whereas the rich people post it on their story and then be like, "Oh, this is terrible. I'm donating $1,000." It's like, cool, man. $1,000. That's a minute for you. That's a day's work. You know. Um.
Yeah, that's you saying on Instagram that you like Burt's Bees chapstick
Yeah.
or Pepsi, and then having them send you like fucking that much money or a lifetime supply of whatever the fuck you mentioned.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we should
it's
probably.
this like so. What's that?
I was gonna say it's an hour and 4 minutes, and
That's true. I was gonna wrap this up by saying like I was thinking about this as we were chatting, and like how deep the virtue signaling actually goes. Like, do you remember Coney 2012?
yeah, there was a great video that Internet Historian did about the whole thing.
Yeah,
Because that guy just went like insane about it. Like he was really passionate about it, but he was almost too
yeah,
passionate about it, and then it just became this huge thing. And then at the end, there was barely any people at the scheduled protests, and all they did was vandalize some stuff. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, like at the end of the day, it became a meme. Coney 2012, like it got the exposure, but it just became like a meme that everyone joined in on. Um, I remember some of my schoolmates at the time joining in on Coney 2012. Um, yeah, no, it's
So essentially the background of it is there was this guy who essentially was using children for child labor. There was a company called Invisible Children that came out and was getting a bunch of donations, and people were protesting on behalf of them and picketing outside the White House and all this kind of shit. Donate to this cause, donate to these people, they're doing the right thing. And then it turned out that the dude they were actually going after was full of shit, was nothing to do with anything that was going on over there, and that the Invisible Children Foundation didn't use any of their money to help the child labor in Africa. They pocketed the money and used it to run their company instead. And that was kind of like the first instance online that I ever saw of people virtue signaling, because there was a bunch of people that changed their profile pictures or posted,
or
wherever they could to be like,
yeah,
this is so wrong and we need to sort this out.
Yeah.
We need to do something about this.
or the
It's like,
wristbands.
who are you? Yeah, or wore the wristbands.
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus Christ. Yeah, but between that's and look, I'm gonna put my hand on my heart here and say I'm sorry, listeners, because this is like the last couple of weeks have been basically just yarns, but they've been yarns because not a lot of good shit happening in the world at the moment. So my advice to you would be go out and make some good news happen.
I mean, I made some good news happen.
like-
I finished AC Odyssey. I got myself a disk drive.
Yeah, I mean, I pulled together and played a 30-minute set for my auntie's birthday, which she was super stoked about. So there's obviously there's two sides to it. I'm not saying that that should be newsworthy or whatever, but like it's definitely was very positive for me.
Yeah.
So that's some good news. But
and there's no virtue
I don't know,
signaling about it.
No, well, I mean, I didn't post anything about it.
Yeah.
It was more or less, it was, and people don't know the family situation or anything like that. I'm just playing some music at a relative's birthday party. So it's, I don't know. I really don't know. So, I guess.
I can think of one piece of good news. Man United beat Arsenal in penalties this morning, even though they were against not only the Arsenal team but the ref.
Oh yeah,
and
down to 10 men,
and it was
Dallo got sent off.
Yeah, Mikel Arteta also getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup, saying it's a different ball. Didn't say that when they got to that stage. Never said that in any of the interviews, And then in this interview, he's like, we deserve that win, but we came away with a loss. It's like, if you would have deserved that win, you would have won.
Yeah, that's right. If it should have been, then it would have been, motherfucker.
You've supposedly got some of the best players in the league. William Saliba got absolutely sat down by Joshua Zirkzee.
Yep.
Also should have had like a red card against Fernandes for like dragging him back, which he's known to do, I've seen. But then Arsenal fans will like claim that he's one of the best defenders, not only in the league but in the world.
Kai Havertz grabbed Manuel Ugarte by the throat, and Manuel Ugarte got the foul against him because he lashed out.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just that's just how it goes. They're now out of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. They're going another trophyless season.
The league either.
No, they won't be winning the league. Mikel Arteta is now using all the excuses in the book because he's getting found out.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, no, there's still another league to go in the Carabao Cup, but they are away at St James's Park, and Alexander Isak is on some crazy shit right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also remember I saw something about, I think it was also it was an FA Cup tie between Man City and Salford, and it was like, and they won 8-0. It was like, cool. You beat, like, and everyone's like, oh yeah, beat the Class of 92's team. It's like, you beat a team that's like 3 leagues below you with the richest club. I think they're actually the richest club in the world. But they also have 115 charges because they're a bunch of cheating oil money using bastards.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah, I mean, like, it's most of those boys in the Salford City team, based on the documentary alone, like, yes, most of them are professional footballers, but some of them still have like part-time jobs.
Yeah,
like it's essentially like when the Saudi League first started, and those boys, there was a game where Ronaldo scored like 4 or 5, and he was big upping himself on Instagram, being like, "Oh my god, I've still got it after all these years," and very proud of myself and the boys for the effort we put in today. And the goalkeeper that he played against, his full-time job is he's a dentist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you slapped 4 past a dentist. You know, fucking congratulations. This dude doesn't have a nutritionist at home that's feeding him the exact amount of, like, calories, fiber, and protein for the day. Like, he's not a multi-fucking billionaire or whatever the fuck Ronaldo's got now. I'm assuming it's way more than I could ever fathom. It just, I don't know. It's Christ on a Christmas cracker.
Yeah, but it's nice to see Arsenal get humbled after all this smack talk. I saw this one guy. I can't remember his name, but he's a Tottenham fan, but he cracks me up because he's like, there was a video of him talking to his partner, and he was like, she said, if I went into Labour, at the same time your team was in a Champions League final, what would you do? And he said, I'd be with you. And then it just swaps him saying, hell no, my team hasn't been in a final since before I was born. There's only one Champions League final for me.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah. But yeah, that creator called Mikel Arteta Mikel Artichoke, which I thought was really funny. Yeah, and it's pretty accurate too.
Absolutely.
So yeah, as I said weeks ago, who's back? It's United, isn't it? We're back, baby. Manuel Ugarte looks like an absolute stellar signing. Joshua Xerxes,
he is starting to get better and better all the time.
After getting subbed off in the first half, he's still contributing. Like he put in an absolute effort today. Bruno Fernandes, as much as he can have his moments, still puts in world-class performances. Harry Maguire, I've probably had a few bad opinions about him, but I've always liked him because he's just like a big brick-headed dude that just gets in and gets it done. So yeah, Man United are back.
There was a clip of him. That got released this evening. That was Kai Havertz dragging Bruno Fernandes back, and Bruno not getting the free kick. Harry Maguire walks over to him and screaming at him past a player who's trying to block him off. He'd called him a cheating shithouse.
Yeah.
What's it? You cheating shithouse! Like you can see him like properly mouthing the words and enunciating.
We like Harry in this household. That's all I'll say.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that I think is going to bring us to the end of the Oosh Brothers podcast for this evening.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am going to sign off on this fabulous Monday evening by wishing you a great week and just a yarn of an oosh, to be honest with you.
And I'm going to say I'm on 44 days of Duolingo for Italian, so arrivederci, my amicas.
All right, ciao.
Laters.